And welcome back to the show today, guys and girls. Today we're taking a closer look at something many of us grew up with. The kind of love we learned from movies. Romance films can be comforting, inspiring, even healing, but they can also shape expectations we don't always realize we're carrying. What happens when the stories we watch start to influence what we want, what we tolerate, or how we imagine real relationships should unfold? To unpack all of this today, I'm joined by someone who brings a thoughtful perspective to this conversation.
Ben Wallace, thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming on to the show today, Ben. So today we're going to be exploring how romance movies impact the way we love, the pressures they create, and the truths we sometimes overlook. So Ben, would you like to give a little introduction to the audience on, maybe who you are, how old you are, and your current marital status, or even the generation you grew up in?
Yeah, so my name is Ben Wallace. I'm an avid movie lover. Love
that.
going to the theaters.
Love that.
I'm 23, currently unmarried, but I have a relationship of 6 years. So
Love that.
going on that, and I.
Going strong?
Oh yeah, we're going strong.
Going strong. Love to hear that. Yep.
That's great. And then I grew up in the early 2000s, so Gen Z. Myself.
A Gen Zer. Here we go. He's gonna have some. And I hear an avid movie lover, so he's going to have some good takes and some good movies is what I hear.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Okay, so I just want to clarify, the main prompt we're going to be talking about in this episode and across these 3 episodes, but in different generations, is the effects of romance movies on expectations. And so, do you have any initial thoughts on just that prompt in general? Maybe how it affects the movie, how your perspective of love from the movies affects your own relationship you have now?
Yeah, no. So when you invited me on, you had me thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thought I had was romance is in every movie we see,
Mm-hmm.
like from Dune to The Naked Gun.
There you go.
To
Yeah.
Grown Ups. You see romance in every genre, everything, and it really helps you. Romance advances plots. It helps you connect with the characters. It makes you feel, and it's integral to almost every movie you see nowadays. So I'm excited to get to talk to you about it today and see how it affects us in our lives and our expectations and how we feel.
Your current expectations of love in your own life.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important that I think this is a very important topic that it's something a lot of people could be overlooking, but for the avid, movie lovers, and I thought, you individually is why I thought you would have a very important take, or at least a take that is very important to a lot of people in the audiences, because I feel, you have, a very strong relationship that you're in, but you also are very passionate about movies, and so I just want to see if you had any correlations on how they intertwine in a way, and that's why I felt the need to bring you on today. But going off of that, I did ask Ben to tell me 3 movies that he felt were almost very important or had very important messages about, that he could carry into like his own relationship, and he felt that affected him in a way in his own relationship. And so to start off, I'm going to ask him about his first movie, and that is La La Land. And I just want to hear your, any message you really took from La La Land and how it affected, you and your own relationship and today. So, Ben, would you like to take it?
Yeah, no, that's a tough question. I mean, La La Land's probably my favorite movie of all time. It's just such a beautiful movie, and
rumor has it you dressed up as, Sebastian for La La Land.
Yes, that is true. My girlfriend and I were Sebastian and Mia for Halloween 2 years ago.
That's got to be one of the coolest things I have ever heard, man.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I kind of had to convince her to do it. But
you had to convince her to do it?
Yeah, it's my idea. So,
really?
Yeah.
Did you have to pay her?
No.
No, okay.
But going back to your question, it's such a brilliant message, and it makes you think, like, because the whole thing is right person, wrong time.
Yeah.
Sebastian and Mia, you could clearly see how in love they were for each other. But the main conflict is, they both want to follow their passions. They have their passions in life. And that kind of separates them and, causes conflict within their relationship. They don't want to sacrifice their passion for the other person, even though they're so in love. And, like, that made me think, like, how in love are they really if they're not willing to make sacrifices? Because that's what
you take away from that.
That's what relationships are all about, are making sacrifices for your significant other, and making sure that they're happy in the relationship and that you're both mutually happy and both following your dreams, but also making sure the other person is following their dream as well.
Yeah, that's a very good takeaway that you took away from that movie. I really like that answer, because I think it is important to, look at a movie, and especially romance movies or rom-coms, and see how it affects you, because all these movies are made is to, like I mentioned, inspire and connect you and to your real, relationships in your life. And so I think La La Land does that in a right time. I do want to ask, how do you, like, your main message, how does it apply to your own relationship? And you said sacrifice is an important thing, and you sacrifice for the ones you love, but, if someone is too passionate, if you both have passions, and, you both are you're in a relationship, and you each have your own passions, how do you compromise? I would love to hear what you think.
Yeah, no, that is a good question, because you can, like, in La La Land, you can see they clearly love each other deeply.
Yeah.
But their passions are what come first, and that's totally okay, and I'm not saying that's a wrong thing.
Would you say love for each other?
Yeah, I would say that 100%. And I think figuring out what matters most to you is important. If your passion, doing what you love is most important, 100% follow your dreams. If you have someone that you love more than anything, and you want to stay with them for the rest of your life, I think sacrificing some other things is totally okay too.
Yeah.
It's not an easy decision. Like, it's not.
No.
Not everyone's gonna feel the same about the topic. So
no, I totally understand you. I think we can understand each other in a way. There's two sides of the coin over here.
Yep.
One deeply in love over here, and I would say quite the opposite over here. So, but nonetheless, both happy for each other. I can tell. So, anyway, going off of La La Land, I want to talk about the next movie I asked you to talk about, and that is 500 Days of Summer. Mm-hmm. And just on that topic of the movie, I'd love to hear, the same question. How did 500 Days of Summer, affect you and your view in your own relationship?
Yeah. 500 Days of Summer is a
heartbreaker.
It's a heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker for many men out there in America and all around the world.
And that's the thing, is it's very polarizing too, because a lot of guys will watch the movie and they'll take the side of Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, whereas
definitely
where they feel he got wronged by.
My initial first thought was that, actually. I was like, man, he really got done up.
Yeah, that's what you would think. And then talking with my girlfriend afterwards, she's like, dang, like, I feel bad for the girl. Like, she...
really?
Like, yeah.
That's what she thought?
Yeah, so it's interesting to see both sides. And then, obviously, I've read reviews about the movie, and a lot of the reviews by women are talking about how the girl did everything right. So, it's interesting to see both sides. And I think the main theme of the movie, or what I took away from it, is communication.
Communication.
Yes.
How important is that in a relationship?
Oh, it's the most important thing.
Most important thing?
It's the most important thing. And I mean, you can see it. You can see it in the movie. Zooey Deschanel's character tells him their first few times, like, hanging out, this isn't something I want long term.
Yeah. Hey, we're just friends.
Yeah. This is just for fun. Like, I do not want a boyfriend. Like, this is long term. And then, as you can see during the movie, like, he gets attached and he falls in love with her, and
She doesn't.
And she doesn't.
No.
Is the thing.
Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, she does not get in love with
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
So, and it's hard because she says it at the beginning, but her actions keep telling him like, "Hey, I want to go further and further with this," and she didn't keep communicating that with him, which I think kind of led him on. At least that's my point of view as a man in the situation.
Yeah.
I understand there might be different points of views out there, but that's kind of what I got from it is she did communicate well at the start, and then she kept leading him on, and maybe it was she just kept leading him on. I'll put that in quotation
marks.
Leading him on.
We don't have any pictures.
That's kind of how he saw it probably after he was dumped.
Yeah.
And she didn't communicate with him. Yeah. And he didn't communicate with her either.
So the communication part, going back to that, how important that is in a relationship, one of the biggest things is what I'm hearing is communication, and how important it is to have that in a relationship, and especially in a partner that you're going to have in the future. You want to communicate with, exactly what's going on, and, what the relationship is what I take away from that. Would you agree?
100%.
100%?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So, communication, we take away from the second movie, 500 Days of Summer, and then, first movie, La La Land, we take away the fact that, sacrifices are made, and, we all have our different paths, kind of, Would you agree? And then third movie that I asked Ben to tell me was 10 Things I Hate About You. And, but...
Are you sure it was that?
I'm sure. Oh, wait. Actually, I thought you switched it, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You switched it on me.
I switched it up on you last minute.
You did. Okay. Well, how about, was it Past Lives?
It was About Time.
About Time. Oh my gosh. It was on the top of my brain, but that is indeed okay. Yeah, I love that movie actually. I'm glad we're talking about that more than, not any hate toward 10 Things I Hate About You, because I love that movie too, but it's just another classic about time and, preservation of time you have with your loved ones. It's absolutely amazing. There's so many strong messages in it. Rachel McAdams is amazing in it. But going back to the prompt we have today, what message did you take from that movie and the effect it had on your own relationship when watching it?
Yeah, I think you already hit the nail on the head there, is cherishing time with your loved ones. The last scene with the dad was just
tore me apart.
Absolutely devastating. It had me bawling my eyes out.
I can imagine. And Iron Claw all over again?
Yeah.
As an inside joke for some of the audience out there.
Yeah.
Me and Ben went to see the Iron Claw together for our audience, and we were sitting in the theater together, and I look over my shoulder, and he's just bawling at the end of the movie when, Zac Efron's characters, his kids come up and say, "Daddy, are you okay?" And Ben was torn to pieces over there. I was like, I don't have a tissue, man, but I feel bad.
Yeah, I was like, I need a few extra minutes sitting in that theater.
The credits were rolling. It was, man, I'm still upset about there was no Oscar campaign for that movie.
Oh yeah, me too. Zac Efron was absolutely brilliant.
The cast was amazing too.
Yeah.
Jeremy Allen White,
Harris Dickinson.
Exactly. Yeah, I was surprised. But back to topic. Got a little off topic on that one, but About Time. Keep going on that one.
Yeah, no, like you said, cherishing times with your loved ones, and I think obviously the main plot is the romance of it all, but the main themes are with the father and the connection that they had.
Yeah. The power.
And the power that they had.
Spoiler alert, power. They can time travel.
Yeah, so they have to go into a dark room, close their eyes, clench their fists, and they can go back. They can only travel backwards.
Yeah. Not forwards, backwards to their own memories.
To a time that they've already been before.
Yeah.
And they can kind of restart and redo from that situation. And I think you see it the whole movie. He keeps redoing things to make everything perfect and makes it how he wants it to be. Whereas that it takes away from living life. He's always worrying about making everything perfect rather than living in the moment, cherishing his time with his family, with his loved ones.
Yeah. And how important is that in cherishing your time? Because if we're always looking back at what we did wrong, are we ever truly living? Is kind of what you're saying, or are we ever truly present with our own partner? If we're worried about oh, what did we do wrong? Did I not do enough for her? Or would you say it's like sometimes you just gotta say you're sorry and move on, especially if it's in a mistake or something,
Exactly. Like, relationships are tricky, and you're always
push and pull.
Yeah, you're gonna make mistakes. Your partner's gonna make mistakes, and just going back to 500 Days of Summer, communication. You gotta talk it out, communicate. Make sure they know how you feel, so that you can stop worrying about the past and kind of cherish the moments that you do have, because you can't. I mean, we're not in about time. You can't go back and change the past.
Can't go back in time, guys. Unfortunately, they have not discovered that yet.
Yeah.
So this podcast is coming out, or this 3-episode mini podcast is coming out in 2025. So we're not at that point.
Not yet.
Yeah, and we're not back in time. Just to clarify, we are not, from 2050 or anything. Who knows? But anyway, so I have another question. Now that we've talked about the 3 movies, and this is going to kind of go off of all 3 of them. If you had to rank the impact each, from 1 to 3 in an order of how impactful they were on your own relationship and how you could take away from, your own relationship and how they impacted it from 1 to 3, how would you put it in order?
That's a really good question, because
hard question. I know.
It's a hard question.
All great movies, great cast, great talent, but and impactful and how they impacted you in your own relationship, and maybe there's maybe some truth to a lot of those movies that you felt more connected to with than initially watching another movie.
Yeah, no, like I maybe have brought more things from one of the movies, but I just felt more emotionally connected to another one. So it is hard, and I do think my answer is the one that I've taken most from is probably my least favorite of the 3, which is interesting to think about.
Really?
Which is 500 Days of Summer, and not saying it's a bad movie.
It's a great movie, guys. Yeah. Let's be honest. It's one of the best romance movies, and it's such a powerful message in it. But you would say that's number 1, and currently how much it affected you and your own relationship, and
it
not in terms of movie watching, but how it affected you and the message you took away. So the primary message of communication, it's just one of the most important things, is what I'm hearing.
Communication, and there are 2 sides to every story. Like, you never know how your partner is going to be feeling, so you always have to be in constant communication.
Listening.
Listening that's a good point. That's a huge
How important is that?
It's the most important.
Listening, understanding a situation kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, because like 500 Days of Summer is saying, like, there's 2 sides to every story. You have to listen to kind of understand the other person and see where they're coming from, rather than jumping to conclusions.
That's a very, very. I couldn't agree more. And going into your second, what would you say that would be in terms of message, not movie? I know you could rank the movies totally different, and
yeah, I mean, I think it would be About Time.
About Time. Interesting enough, if I know Ben on a personal level, guys, and I would not have thought, if you would have told me, not have guessed that, Ben. I'm going to be honest. I would have thought it was the complete opposite way, to be honest. But, I guess, I guess we're focusing on the message here and not the movie.
Yeah, which is funny, because if I would have ranked them in order of my favorite movies, it would have been the complete opposite.
The complete opposite. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, though, because, 500 Days of Summer and About Time both have super strong messages, and they both really, connect in different ways that more people in their lives might, connect more with. And so I think the messages, again, with, communication with 500 Days of Summer, and, really cherishing your time with About Time with your friends and family, I can see how you would maybe relate more, and at this point in your life, maybe that's more of where you're at in your life right now, and maybe the message that La La Land sent maybe doesn't really affect you as much at this time. How would you feel?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I think at this point in my life, I haven't had to make too many sacrifices for my girlfriend, just because of the way that we've communicated and how we want our relationship to be. We both want to live our own lives while still being together. So, we went to 2 separate colleges, and we both understood that we were going to do our own thing, and then, we had to make the sacrifices at certain times to, hang out and go visit each other and spend time with each other. But ultimately, we've been very communicative with each other to make sure we're both doing what we want to do. So
that's very, very, very impactful and very, very true and honest. I love it. Anyway, so I have one last question, then we're gonna wrap it up. Do you think movies affect people in a positive or negative way in terms of the relationships they have?
Are you talking about romance movies or just all movies?
I'm gonna say romance and rom-coms, that general area.
Okay, yeah, no, It's a really tough question because it could have different effects on different people. And some people could watch a movie and see it could give them false hope of this relationship is so amazing. Why can't mine
give them
that?
Yeah, I could see the negative point in there. Yeah.
And then the same person could view that movie and get totally something different out of it, whereas like they see that relationship and they're like, this is something I could do better, or something I could bring to my own relationship to help improve it. Yeah. So
be a better person.
I see both sides to where the movies could affect people negatively, but they could also affect people positively.
I totally agree with you, Ben. I think me personally, I think it's a positive way, and I don't know. You think it's positive too, Ben?
For me, it's 100%.
100% positive, 100%. No doubt in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's. Movies are meant to be unrealistic at points, so you gotta understand that, and you gotta go in and try and take away the themes rather than
the messages too,
and the messages rather than just viewing it surface level of, oh, the relationship's so awesome. No, you got to look at it at, oh, the relationship is awesome because of this, because of this, and kind of take away things to.
Maybe put in your own life, put in your, really put into your relationship.
Exactly.
And put it in a positive way. Ain't that true? All right. Any last remarks you'd like to give to anybody listening to this, or anything about the prompt we've talked about today?
I don't think so. I just want to thank you for having me on. It was fun talking about movies. I mean, romance is one of my favorite genres. There's so many good ones, and there's always good new romance movies coming out. So.
I couldn't agree more. Do you think I'm going to give you what would you say your top one is ever?
Top romance movie?
Yeah, ever.
Oh, La La Land. That's my top movie ever.
Movie,
so
okay.
It's gotta be my top romance
there movie. You go. Okay. All right. Anyway, I wanted to give them that anyway. So I'm going to end this episode off with saying this is very important to a lot of people, and I think the messages you receive from movies, they can be perceived in both positive and negative ways, been mentioned, but I think it's I think a lot of messages aren't meant to be negative, and if you take them away in a negative aspect, that's one way to approach it. But I think there's a lot of positive ways you can take it, and I think messages are important to take away from movies, and I think if you can take away the positives in a movie, then it can help you, inspire for more in the relationships you're in. And I think it really is important to try to take away positive messages, even though it may not be realistic sometimes, because, relationships are hard. They really are. And it's hard to take away the positive sometimes, especially when you're feeling down. But, don't lose that hope. Don't lose that hope. You always deserve more, and you always deserve better. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this first episode of this 3-part miniseries, and I'm gonna say thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Ben, for coming on to the podcast.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
Of course, and I will see you guys next episode. So thank you again. All right.